गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। Today we're going to talk of BRICS, BACS and more. We're living in very interesting times and a lot of things are changing. A lot of things are changing. It is in this context that, 2 days back I spoke of Quad. And at that time I said, look, there's a lot of interconnection between what's going to happen in Quad and what's going to happen in BRICS. And yeah, that's happening to my way of looking at it. We had our external affairs minister actively participating in the court proceedings in USA. We have a trade deal which is, being hammered out, and then our prime minister is on a country tour along with BRICS. Let's put this all in context with each other, because in this changing world, a lot of things are happening which, we need to factor in. So let's go. Okay, 1 minute. Sorry, there's a little. Yeah, let's go. I'll start with this quote again. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And the silence of our friends, we need to remember for a long time, because this is a friendless world. There's not many friends of India in this world, right? And someone who's going to stand up. We found that in Sindoor. The best of our friends, the best two friends we have, I have looked at it so far, big countries, Russia and Japan. Even they kept quiet. They didn't do anything during Sindoor. Okay. So we need to look after ourselves. Okay. The next thing which I want to put across is, today morning when I woke up, I saw this headline. Donald Trump says, take it or leave it. And he signed tariff letters for 12 countries. Okay, 12 countries. And he says, just take what I'm giving on, right? Forget about it. He says, I'll mail it off. And he has not named the countries. India could be one of them. We don't know. But what is he doing? He's putting a barrel on everyone's head, a gun on everyone's head and saying, you listen to me or get lost. It is his way or, the highway. Well, if that is the case, I mean, he could do this deal with us today and show us the highway tomorrow. So where does it leave us? Where does it leave us? Okay, that's the point. And the Indian team is back, the trade team. And the trade talks will continue. I listened today morning to almost all channels, all YouTubes, this tube, that tube, and media. Everyone says the sticking points is agriculture and dairy. I said the other day also that will be the biggest sticking point, because we are a huge agriculture and dairy producing nation. Our texture is different. The Americans are also in the same boat, but their texture is different. And our interests clash. Like I said the other day, what I find very interesting is, look, why are we exploiting each other's markets? We should form a joint system where we can help the world. And in that, and get into a win-win situation. But then, well, that's a different story. So we don't know whether the trade deal is going to come out or not. Some people talk of interim deal. Well, trade deals with USA have never worked. If you go back, even during Trump's first term, there was a trade deal in the air. It never came. With Biden, the whole thing got washed away. We've been negotiating for a trade deal with EU for the past 16 years. We have not come anywhere near. Only recently, after a long time, we've done some kind of a FTA with UK. So these trade deals are iffy at best. Every nation has to look out for itself. So even if we get to an interim trade deal with USA, it will be an interim trade deal on certain sectoral issues. You have to have a lot of things. Plus the fact that it is now undeniable that our growth can't be stopped. And I keep saying this, why? Because look, a trade deal between USA and Vietnam was concluded, and Vietnam just folded up, right? Whatever USA said they had to do. Well, how they'll operationalize it and all that, we'll talk on a different day. Okay. Uh, so that's because Vietnam is a dependent economy. It's dependent on, USA for it to thrive. And though they are also communists at the end of the day, they don't want to let go what they've got, even if it even if it means ditching their fellow communists. Okay, that's the fundamental thing which we need to understand. But they can't twist our tail, which I've been always saying, because for the fundamental reason that India is a consuming economy apart from being a manufacturing and a producing economy, right? You might say we don't produce the semiconductor chips, technology like China, but life is not only about the high end. There's a huge normal end which we have to factor in. Okay, so it is in this context. What if Mr. Trump tomorrow says, okay, I've done a deal with you, and we say, okay, the deal is okay. It puts us at an advantage relative to China at this point of time, and we are happy about it. And we take that deal, and tomorrow he does a deal with China, and we are left in the cold. We don't know. And that time, what do we do? So that is why BRICS is more relevant. It's a very relevant thing. And that is a realization not only within India, this is a realization world over. Everyone says, look, I need alternate mechanisms. People are scrambling for it. And here we have an opportunity. We have a platform already. So this platform gives you hedging options. And hedging options are always important. People say, okay, you can choose between BRICS or G7 and NATO and things like that. It's no choice for us. Our choice is to do what is best for us, right? And though Brazil says it's more relevant, this summit, I think it's equally relevant for us. Okay. Oh, but there are a lot of questions, and these questions of the Rio summit is coming from China. This is a Chinese article which says, look, there are questions. There are questions for the simple reason Xi Jinping is not attending it. Why is he not attending? After all, the BRICS was his signature, platform. And I'll explain a little later why it is a signature platform for him to project China as the, global, leader of the global system. But equally, it gives us an opening, a huge opening. And in that context, this BRICS summit is very, very, very important for us. And we need to understand that. Okay. Of course, there's one way we are going where Brazil, we need to understand. There's a fundamental problem with Brazil. The government today in Brazil is either swings to the right or to the left, a bit of the extreme. Earlier, we had a rightist government. Now, in Brazil, there's a leftist government, Lula. And before that, Dilma Rousseff, who's the lady which is in this picture, was the president of Brazil. And she ruined Brazil's economy completely. And Dilma Rousseff was Lula's, protege. So what have they done? They've put her in, as the BRICS bank in charge in Shanghai. And her leaning is completely Chinese. So when you deal with BRICS, we need to have this thing in mind. At some level, Brazil leans more to China. But equally, Lula, the President Lula, at this point of time, he seems to be a little balanced. In fact, if anything, what I've seen is in the past, from what his previous outlook was and what Dilma Rousseff's previous outlook was to what it is now, it appears that he's, shifting a little away from China. And that opens up things. Okay. Look, if I go into the whole story, to give a background of BRICS for those of you who don't understand, Originally, we know that in 2006, when this whole story was formed as an economic trading bloc, not a geopolitical bloc, right? Okay, there are only 5 members of BRICS. That is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Later, in Kazan, we added 4 more: Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and UAE. January 2025, Indonesia also joined as the 10th member. So we have 10 members, permanent members. 9 countries are designated as partner countries, right? Uh, 2 dozen more have been invited to join, including Saudi Arabia, and they are interested in joining. Uh, Now, when you join all these together, these uh, 10 basic countries plus 9 countries who are partner countries for BRICS, plus others who have been invited, you put all this, you're looking at more than 50% of the global population. That's 50% of the global markets. That's huge. Okay. It gives you a huge hedge against USA, against what Mr. Trump is doing. Right? If we, and it tells USA, look, we have other alternatives. You're not my only alternative. And that gives you leverage. So this whole story, the hedging between Quad and BRICS is leverage. And in this point of time, combine this with our other, countries where our prime minister is going, certain things are emerging. We'll come to that. Okay, what is significant about this BRICS, and why is it important for India? I mean, I think this is very important. This is a very, very, very significant thing for India. Okay, what is that? 2 presidents of BRICS founding states will be absent. Who? Xi Jinping and Putin. They're heavyweights. After all, everyone knows in BRICS, uh, Russia, India, and China are the heavyweights. Out of which Russia and China will not be there. Of course, Mr. Putin will join by video link for the simple reason that he's under sanctions. If he goes out, Brazil will have to arrest him. So those are the issues. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, so you're going to have only South Africa is virtually end played itself. South Africa at one point of time, people felt that it will come up as a big power and all that, but that's not there. It's under huge debt to China. It's a surrogate of China. If there's one surrogate of China in Africa, entire African continent, it is South Africa. So they've actually marginalized. Their economy is also in tatters. Their everything, politics also is in tatters. So very soon they'll start resembling the rest of Africa. The preeminence that South Africa enjoyed might not be there. So that's how South Africa is. So it leaves Brazil and India as the ones who will virtually talk, okay, of many things in BRICS. I'm talking of the original founding members, right? Now, in this also, Brazil has not joined the BRI. So, because Brazil has not joined the BRI and it has taken, this is important because it has taken a view that it will want to be a little independent away from China, despite the fact that what I told you, Lula is fundamentally a socialist who's more towards communism, and Dilma Rousseff is a complete communist. Okay. So despite that, they've not joined the Belt and Road. And that has caused problems in Beijing. And some people say because Brazil refused to join, Brazil refused to join the BRI. China, the chap Xi Jinping didn't come here. Is it right? Or Xi Jinping has his own problems. We've been discussing that. So there is a unbun between Brazil and China, which is apparent. Right. Then again, Xi Jinping is very upset, and China is upset that immediately after the BRICS meet, Prime Minister Modi will have be a state guest in Brazil, and state guest means dinner, yeah, presidential dinner and all that. And if Xi Jinping had come after the BRICS meet, he would have had to go back. He gets no bow. And that's something which is might have prickled or been prickly to Beijing. So you're looking at two, three reasons. One, China might have its own internal problems. China is not happy with Brazil for Belt and Road. Okay. And China feels slighted that our prime minister is being given the red carpet treatment in Brazil and not him. So all these three things put together, he's not there. He's sending his prime minister, who doesn't have heft. That same chap, Li Qiang, came to Delhi also for the G7 meet year before last. He said some Indian things and went back. The same thing he'll do now. So virtually in this BRICS, the most important nation is going to be India. And of course, Brazil being the host. Over and above that, the Egyptian president Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, he is also not coming because of tensions there. Iran, Khamenei is also not going. He never goes. Even if Pezeshkian is not going, so they're sending. I believe Pezeshkian is going, but we don't know. They might send someone else, considering their own problems. Okay. And interestingly, Turkey and Mexico have been invited as special guests. But though they've been invited as special guests, neither is sending their president. There'll be some foreign ministry officials. So actually, it leaves India and Brazil in the driving seat, and a whole lot of countries. So the countries who matter, like Turkey, Mexico, Egypt, these are big names. All said and done. China, Russia, they are not there. It still has the rest of Iran, which is but the president is coming. So, but that it gives you a great opportunity. So, to my way of thinking, the BRICS forum, the way it is actually tailor-made for India. Overall, you might say it might be weak, but it will be tailor-made. Why? With Russia and China not being there, of course, India will get a lot of say, but two, three important things will not happen in this BRICS, which will be good news for India, US, India, West relations. First, no one will talk of BRICS currency. That BRICS currency and alternate to dollar, all that, which can create ripples globally, is dead. In fact, my way of looking at it is dead, because neither has Russia the financial capability, and today even China doesn't have that capability, and the talk will be dead. One, that's the first thing. Second, there'll be no talk of global security initiative, development initiative, and all that, and there's no one from Russia backing it. Lavrov will come and talk, but how much can he talk? So that also, gets reduced. The talk that BRICS is an alternate to the West-led global order and all, which could have come out if both these people were there, also won't be there. Maximum, Putin will speak on the video a little. But given Russia's own position, how much can he speak? After all, he has to conclude his war with Ukraine. It can't be a forever war at some point. So there is a lot of value in this whole story for India. Right? Okay. What are the key issues? There are things, if you see, they're talking of global health cooperation, trade and investment, climate change, AI, multilateral peace and security architecture, and institutional development. There's nothing controversial in the issues in this BRICS at this point of time. In fact, it gives you opportunities, because these are the things which we need. After all, when people come, for example, if these are discussed and Iran is there and India is there and we strike a few deals, whatever is happening between Israel and Iran, let it continue. Whatever is happening between Iran and USA, let it continue. We are not party to it. And in this forum last year, we said Pakistan will not be part of this story. So Pakistan is also not there. So you have a freeway, or rather elbow room, to talk of all this. This is what you want. You want to export your digital infrastructure. You want to export your capabilities. You have health; it's a major capability of yours. If you want to increase your manufacturing and EVs and all that, you need minerals. Okay, you want, now people will listen after what's happened in Op Sindoor. People will listen to our defense issues. Already, Brazil has said we want defense equipment. They're talking of guns, aircraft. They're talking of AD, Akash, Tejas, all those. So all these, you will get a market for others also. Middle East people will come to you. This is absolutely a first class set piece thing for India, the way I look at it. Okay. And there are issues within BRICS also. And this is something which works to our advantage. So I've just picked up a few. In April, BRICS foreign ministers failed to issue joint communicate about, uh, Brazil, India, and South Africa to become part of the UN Security Council. We wanted to. And the BRICS, if the BRICS is as good as it says, it should have said, look, two of our members, Russia and China, are part of the UN Security Council. If BRICS really means business, so Brazil, India, and South Africa also should gain, permanency in the Security Council. But the BRICS foreign ministers in April, when they met in Brazil, refused to endorse this. Why? China. China doesn't want these people to come in. Then its importance will go down. But a little later, the same countries, they started, talking about America and Israeli military strikes on Iran. Not India, others. But India also signed that, but it was a watered down statement. Right? Now, it is well known, right? It is well known that India and China have completely divergent views on many issues. Whether it's BRI or, GSI, all Chinese initiatives, or for that matter on, BRICS currency, infrastructure and all that. We have completely. So China not being there opens the field for us. So this conference will not be, will be a more amicable conference for India. It paves more. That's the value of this BRICS. And Brazil is also interested in intensifying its trade with India. And it doesn't want China around. If China is not there, the China card will go out. Oh, Prime Minister bolega jo bhi bolna hai bolega, but the main guys to take decisions and followed by a state visit means hell of a lot. It means hell of a lot. Okay. So you see that, BRICS gives you a great opportunity. I'll go back. The Quad was there. It was there. Nothing great came out of the Quad except that critical minerals and things like that. There are other issues which have come out recently. We'll talk of that. I see a question. So Quad is a little iffy. Trump has his own agenda, and that agenda really doesn't coincide with what we already experienced it in Op Sindoor. So what do? So we find our own way. Okay. Now, in China, they have an issue. This is a Chinese headline, and this is yesterday morning's. He says, can India block China's leadership in global South-based alliances like the SCO? So China feels that India can be a hindrance there. Sure, China is right. India needs its own global South. It needs its expansion into the global South. Like I said, We have a lot of trust with global south, but has the trust translated into something? Have we gone out there and reached out and said, you please come, you take what we have and you give us what you have to expand our capabilities or capacities or requirements? Not much. It's nice to sit and hear and talk. Okay. But we have to do. So, in that context, this visit is important. I'll highlight a few issues a little later. But there's a worry in China that we might block there, because when you go and interact with the global south and the global south responds to us, then there is a problem for China. And why? If you see countries like Ghana, Angola, Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, Gambia, all these countries have had bad experiences with Belt and Road uh, you know, issues. And Congo, they want to get out of it somehow, and they need a hedge. And that hedge India provides. It's nice to talk, but you have to do. Because they want global south through their trade, investment, coercion, and all that. We are not looking at it from that route. I said last week, on 3 days, 4 days back, even Afghanistan has cancelled a deal with China. Now, these are opportunities for us. These are opportunities for us. The same matrix you can apply anywhere. This is an opportunity for us. That is why we have started investing in Sri Lanka. Need to invest more in Maldives. We need to invest more in Nepal and get them to around. I'm talking of just our neighborhood. Leave Bangladesh for some time, let it fester in its own pressure cooker. And then Pakistan, though, chodi do. We need to invest more in Afghanistan. So this gives us the opportunity. What is this? Is all global south. And the BRICS opens that global south. Okay. All these countries which are lining up to join BRICS, you welcome them. Why not? Forget about what China can do. You welcome them and go visit them, meet them, and increase your footprint. Right? That is the thing. And after all, remember, um, the recent foreign ministers meet in Shanghai. Not foreign minister, defense ministers meet where Mr. Rajnath Singh was there. We refused to sign the joint declaration where Pakistan, Balochistan was mentioned and Pahalgam was not mentioned. We said, no, we will not do it. BRICS now is happening. SCO and BRICS were supposed to be the, path-breaking edifices on which, or rather the platform edifices on which China was to build its global dominance. There, we put our foot in. We have our own requirements of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It's not only China. China might be the biggest one, but there are other countries with which whom we deal. We deal with Russia, we deal with Kazakhstan, we deal with Uzbekistan, we deal with Tajikistan, we deal with Turkmenistan, and all. The complete Central Asia. And we have deals with them for oil, we have deals with them for other minerals. Right? So, this whole story which is evolving, and we know now that we have remained strong. China is weakening. So these things give you a way to continue to grow and not be stuck with USA. You need to be independent of USA. You need to be independent of the West. Fine. We are okay with the West. We'll have deals with them. All that is fine. If it doesn't work, what do you do? So you have to go out and compete. You have to grow. What do you need? You need resources. You need raw material. That's why we come here. That's why we need to talk about, our Prime Minister's global outreach. We'll take one by one. We went to Ghana first. Why is Ghana important for us? Of course, it's firmly part of global south. Its economy is in a mess. There's high inflation. Their currency is depreciating. They have a large debt burden. They've been to IMF repeatedly. They are stuck with Chinese debt, all that. But they have gold, oil, cocoa. It used to be called the Gold Coast, Ghana, once upon a time. And you need to increase your footprint there. So what did our Prime Minister when he spoke to them? He spoke to the Parliament, all that. What did he say? Look, we want Africa to be part of the whole society. We want to increase our footprint out there. And he also said, look, G7, I've got the entire African Union as a member. There is 50 member countries as part of the G7 now. So all these links we need to develop. Okay, right. Then what's the next one? We went to Trinidad, Tobago. Trinidad, Tobago virtually is the entrance to Central America. Not completely the Central America, Mexico, Guatemala, all those places, and also to USA. And there he is reiterated Indian roots, culture. After Trinidad, Tobago, virtually 50% of them are Indian descent. The Prime Minister and the President both are of ladies of Indian descent. And we have cricket ties. People like Rohan Kanai and, Shivnarayan Chandrapal. A lot of these people are from there. Sulil Narayan. All these people are from Trinidad and Tobago. Cricket is a huge thing which we need to factor in. So you exploit that, right? And all these people are going to have come handy in UN because all of them are going to be something or the other in the UN. And there's a plot in this whole story. And as of now, he's in Argentina. Argentina is a very interesting thing. For the simple reason, this is the first visit in 57 years. Okay, after 57 years, a Prime Minister of India is going there. Last visit was, I think, by Indira Gandhi. Now, the thing is, the Argentine government before Javier Milei, right, was a completely left-leaning government in sync with China. Belt and Road, and it was indebted to China. Its currency had gone down. Inflation was up. It was in a mess. And when Javier Milei, he's a complete rightist, complete right-oriented guy. He came, he's hacked a lot of things. He's cut out a lot of, in fact, Elon Musk and his Dodge, they took ideas from Javier Milei as to how to go about it. But he's controlled the economy. Inflation has come down, the economy is reviving, all that. And he's looking at improving relations. And I'm sure at the end of the day, Mr. Modi and Javier Milei will find common ground. And Milei will also be very happy with this whole story because he's getting two hedges. He already got a hedge from USA for trading. But there are limitations in what USA can do. Now he gets a hedge with India. We get a hedge with India. Okay. And get away from China. He he got elected on an anti-China ticket platform. But despite that, the country was so indebted to China that he had to go to China, go into a debt swap agreement and all that for currency, things like that. And now he wants to get out of it. He's rooted. It's now a completely, I wouldn't say rightist, but I think I see more of right centrism. Get back to market principles. Don't go the socialist economic way. Don't go the communist way. Right? So all these he is bringing in. And Argentina has lithium. It has got a lot of minerals. Lithium is important for us for EVs. We don't have lithium. We are dependent on China. You look at lithium from here, look at Namibia. Namibia is the next thing. We'll talk of it. Or other places where you get. Then your EV industry will start being autonomous, self-sufficient. in terms of making whatever you want. Okay, so there's value. And the entire southern continent, if you see, I mean, you have a look at it, the two major countries in South America, complete the continent, are what all? Brazil, Argentina. If you have Brazil, Argentina, and Chile, virtually you have the entire continent, and these Chile, Argentina, and Brazil, these are the three main economies there. So I think there's a lot of value in a prime minister going there. Okay. Then look at Brazil, where you have a state visit and defense, right? Defense is going to be a major component of the state visit to Brazil. After this, he's going to go to, maybe in 3 days, he'll be in Namibia. And Namibia has got diamonds. You have a vibrant diamond industry. Surat. Okay, finishing. So it makes sense for us to go and start sourcing diamond through Namibia. Of course, the entire diamond industry is controlled from Amsterdam. That's a different story. But you have a source, you can do whatever you want. Uranium. There's uranium in Argentina also. You need uranium if you want to go nuclear. As simple as that. You buy uranium from them, source uranium from them. We don't have uranium, we have thorium. And I've been telling you on and off and regularly, to get to thorium cycle. You see, the day you get into the thorium cycle, then you are independent of everything. But for the time to get into the thorium cycle, another 10, 15 years away. Technology, investment, everything put together. Once you get that, after that it will take another 20 years, then you will be a thorium power. That's a different story. But till then you need uranium. So what do? There are enough people who will block uranium purchase. You go to other countries who have uranium, after China goes there, Russia goes there, USA goes there, everyone goes to other countries. Why shouldn't we go? Why should we continue to depend on Canada and Russia? See, Namibia has got a lot of value for India at this point of time. They have base metals, they have oils. In fact, a lot of oil reserves and gas reserves there in Argentina also. So we can go and explore. We've done exploration in South China Sea. We've done exploration in Andaman. We've done exploration of Guyana, Venezuela. We had contracts with Venezuela to explore oil. So why not here? So there's a lot of value which is happening in this, trips, which are. And what is your other thing? What is your strength today? Our strength is what? Digital public infrastructure. People talk of our UPI. We are the strong voice for Global South. And you need energy. You have technology for energy you can give to them. Space. Nuclear. I've not put nuclear, but space and nuclear. Very important. Defense cooperation. I've given a whole, that other day I spoke a lot about defense cooperation in one of the episodes. What's going to happen? If you remember, when Brazil said defense, we will buy things, what is the other things which will happen because of defense, second order and third order effects of defense cooperation? Do you think we'll talk of defense cooperation only with Brazil or more? It includes training, it includes capacity building, it includes export of arms, it includes getting in raw material. You do outsourcing, a lot of things. So I think, and then incidentally, as far as BRICS is concerned, this is in Brazil where we get maximum opportunity, and the next we have to host it. So anyway, we'll take use of that. And I'm sure people who are in USA are not, keeping their eyes closed. and they understand, and it gives you a hedge for many things, right? So overall, I thought today I'll put across these issues to all of you. Why is BRICS important? Why is this BRICS different from other normal BRICS? What is the opportunities we get, and why are these 5 country visit important? This is not the end of the story. This is only the beginning. You need to put your footprint out. Some of these countries we have not gone for decades. Ghana, I don't know when we last anyone went there, right? So you're creating this set of equities with a lot of people, and that is the greatest thing which has happened in this, you know, visit, and will happen. It will happen, and it gives you that leverage against USA. Fine. So I thought I'm done with this whole story. I'd request all of you who are, watching this, to please subscribe to Ghana Shot, and also like this video. And I'd invite all of you who are there to join in as members. Okay. Now I'm going to put across something else to you, which has come about in the past 3-4 days. Look, I don't know why, but viewership of Ghana Shot has fallen off the cliff. Subscription also has fallen off the cliff. It's not only I who's noticed it, all of you. And like I got 2 comments today, I thought I'll share it with you. He says, "Sir, you have been shadow banned by YouTube. Possible. Their systems pick up accounts adversarial to their political policies. Then the account is reviewed and special interests have a say in it. So anything criticizing Islam, USA, uh, right, and now CCP is a big no at YouTube. Possible. I don't know. Right. It's possible. But I don't know how to go about it. If you know how to go about it and you know how to help me out, help me out. Because we're going to help each other out. And someone says something wrong, the viewership is showing less, it can't be. So is there a hanky panky going around? I don't know. Is there, something going? I don't know. So what I'd request all of you is to kindly like, share, and not only comment in live comments. Also put your comments, equivalent comments in the comment. See, I can only beat them with algorithms and known methods. Okay. Am I phased by this? No. At my age, I'm very clear, and you know what I'm doing. I'm doing this for people who matter and people like you who want to come. Uh, so I would request all of you to share this with your friends, resubscribe, put notifications. I would, and help me out. And also, I wouldn't say help me out. We need to help India out. That's the thing. We need to have a sane voice. Also, clause is also. I'm broadcasting this over clause also. So subscribe to clause also. It's important, right? Okay. So I will now take on your questions. At the outset, I'd like to thank Hans for gifting one Ghana Shot member to whoever you gifted it to. My request is that person, please continue with your membership, because that's the way it is thing. Yeah. Then of course, Gaurav Yadav, thanks a lot. You gifted 5 Ghana Shot members. So grateful to you. Right. And I agree, with due respect, or layman who doesn't know geopolitics say हमारा पीएम काली विदेश घूमते रहता, नहीं ऐसे नहीं होता. No one goes abroad just for loafing around. You go with a purpose. And I have not seen a more hardworking PM than this for a long time. I think the only person who could match this PM earlier was Mrs. Indira Gandhi. She used to do a lot, but that was a different era. There's no point in comparing. There's no comparison between the two. Okay, and so I think we need to, understand what our PM is doing. Yeah. 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 Great explanation. Thanks for a detailed one. Garvesh, we are diehard fans. I'm actively writing based on your talks and promoting your video as reference on Quora. Thanks a lot, Garvesh. So honored. Is it possible that views are getting split between multiple channels? I do get notifications for your videos always. It's like this, Tiku. The point is, you know, we it's not that way that multiple channels with things are getting split. Because with clause, I have a very deep understanding, and it's a clause is a government channel. It's a think tank channel. So I will have to, I don't have a choice of not being part of them. So every video of mine will be on clause, and similarly, every video of clause, which has immense value to all of us, will be with us. So what I think is, even if it split between the two, a combination of two also is not there. Even theirs has fallen off the cliff. That's the point. Yeah, like and subscribe. I agree with you. I will share and comment. I will do my part. Thanks a lot for this. Yeah, shadow banning has slowed down a lot regarding subscription numbers. Some of it may be also banned bot accounts. Possible. I'm not saying no to it. But just getting 10 or 15 subscribers in a day is a little funny. Yeah, that's about all. We should form a platform for those nations where Indian diaspora is in dominant position. I think that's a very interesting thing, and we need to. And whether India wants to do it or not, let me see. But this point, I think, is a very good point, and I'm going to put it across to someone who matters. Okay. US has a history of destabilizing South America. India will have to find a way of protecting its interests and investment in South America. I agree with you. Yeah, we can help with education, innovation, and digital. Yeah, these are all part of our Prime Minister's agenda. China still dominates BRICS. Can we replace them as early as possible? It's not going to be so easy. Much as what we want to think about China's declining and its power going and all, it still remains powerful. It still remains a huge economy. It's still a big military. The thing is, it's changing. The good part is it's changing, and we have to adjust to that change. And let's not become too big for ourselves. Let's not grow beyond our own boots. Dire dire. That's the thing. Many may disagree. In every country, left is lunacy these days, especially left has gone haywire and crossed points of no return. I agree with you completely. I think it's in some way. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ashok. You're back. And Rohan Khanna is also from Guyana. I did mention about him. Our exports are mainly to US, EU, GCC, ASEAN, UAE. Is BRICS relevant to us or G20? Seems only Brazil is important for us today. See, the point is you're starting at the low base with most of these countries in terms of exports. So if you start with the low base, all these visits create openings to those countries. Let me put it this way. I'll explain to you about Brazil. It was in 2010-11. We've had relations with Brazil for a long time. Till 2010-11, we didn't have a defense attaché in Brazil. Do you know that? We didn't have. Why I know is, one fine morning, my PA, I was a Major General, my PA, who was a JCO, he came to me and said, "Sir, I've been, selected for an interview to go to Brazil." I said, "Hey, what is this?" He said, "Sir, can you help me?" So I went into it, and it was for a assistant DA. JCOs go as assistant DAs. So I tutored him, and then he went to Brazil. And when I came to know, he went to set up the defense attache's office. He went first, set up the thing for about 2-3 months, and then a defense attaché was posted. And then we started having military people from defense, Brazil coming here. I remember 2012 interacting with a couple of Brazilian officers, um, you know, artillery officers and all that. So our relationship with Brazil is just about 14, 15 years old in defense. And our relationship with other countries are zero. And they are all countries who want our defense after Op Sindoor. So how do you do? It's not imports and exports is just not about hard stuff. There are soft things. There are other issues which will come up, like space, uh, nuclear help on nuclear technology, defense and defense technology, training. All these are huge, and these develop your influence. Okay. Good morning and to everyone. Tarun, Ram Ram. Hmm. Z's brother has a villa there, maybe. Yeah. I heard Xi Jinping's wife was caught trying to set up an escape to Kazakhstan. Yeah. I've been to Kazakhstan. It's a very funny place. I mean, I must relate it. So we went for a conference with one of their ministers, and when we were in NDC, and a senior finance minister. So we were ushered to a room. We sat down in the conference room. The minister came, spoke to us, and walked off. And we were left shocked. He spoke something and walked off. You know why we were shocked? They didn't even offer us a glass of water. That minister just walked in. There was no one with him. He came alone with no one, and we were the only guys. He spoke and walked off. That's it. They didn't even offer us a glass of water, leave alone coffee, shoffy, all that, which is normal for any diplomatic, engagement. So Kazakhstan is funny, and I've traveled the length and breadth of Kazakhstan. It's a good place. People are nice. It's got a different flavor, but it next to China. You can cross over. You can cross over from Xinjiang into Kazakhstan, right? In fact, we went to Altaiton mountains also, and right. So possible that Xi Jinping has, yeah. I think UN has emerged as the biggest joker post Second World War, broker, yeah, where the states within the Security Council only do wars and bomb other countries. What a pity. UN has lost its relevance. That's it. Yeah, like and hit the button. 138 watching, 47 likes. Not fair. Yeah, this channel has more viewers somehow. I doubt that's my issue. Yeah, nuclear weapons in Pakistan is like a showpiece with lock and keys with USA. But why American wants to maintain WMD in Pakistan? Do they fear India rising? No, they want to control the WMDs in Pakistan because someday Pakistan might hit them. That's the worry. It shouldn't go into Taliban's hands or terrorist hands. Uh, Back channel talks between Americans and Chinese may bring renewal of their trade and commerce while keeping the terms beneficial to both. Collaterally, is the BRIC structure maintainable? Yeah, it is. It survived from 2006 to now. So why will it not survive ahead? And especially with more countries wanting to join, and every country wants a hedge against the Western system. It's not only China, even we want a hedge. Okay, right. I heard some news Xi Jinping is not allowed to leave China. It's not about BRICS, anything in BRICS. No, I don't think so. That's why I did a thing yesterday, where he's gone to Kazakhstan just 1 week back. 10 days back, he went to Kazakhstan and came back. So it's not as if it's not so. India said it likes USD over BRICS currency because USD has deeper roots, more trust, and better financial mechanism. But I feel USD is also imperialism to keep us down. Why not have both? No, we can't trust the BRICS currency because we can't trust China. Right? Neither can we trust Russia on this matter. Please understand, we are not, and Brazil and in fact, Brazil, India, and South Africa don't have the strength to maintain this currency. Maintenance of currency means deepening certain institutions. Okay, at this point of time, BRICS doesn't have. What China wants is to eject BRICS, eject the dollar, and use a BRICS currency because it cannot float the UN. So it wants our strength to float a BRICS currency and see how it goes. If it fails, it fails. It's no water off the back of Chinese. So this BRICS currency is a loaded currency, which is allowed by China. We shouldn't fall for it. Yeah, as long as India clings to Dharma will be India's friend and never let her down. I agree with you 100%. Interesting topic. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Sylvia, for joining me from all the way there. Good evening, John. Jai Shankar strategically declared there'll be no gold back BRICS currency. In the end, petrodollar remains at the top. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Uh, yeah, the one that connects land and waterways, it's all about logistics. I agree with you. Uh, they don't want to destroy, they want to destroy the new east west trade corridor from China to the ocean. It goes through Iran and India. I don't know. But whatever they say is a lie. It's a trade corridor they want to control. Tana House, let me be very clear. China is something which is taboo in India. You're new, and that's why I want to put across. So there's no trade corridor going from China to Iran, Shiran, and all that. It's all hogwash. There's some trains running between China and Iran, but what is the capacity of the train route? Hardly anything. Okay, so there's nothing of that kind who wants to destroy. Yeah, we'll talk of new joint statement by Pete Hegseth on Quad mentioned Asia Pacific replacing Indo Pacific. Yeah, this is something which has caught my eye. I didn't comment on it for the simple reason we need to watch. Let's watch and see where this whole story goes ahead. Yeah, wishing you many more views. Thanks a lot, likes and subscribers of the day. Ungal Pugal Ologu Engum. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, you're the king of the world. Thank you. So you have wear a crown. Okay. Yeah, bear and panda talking with elephant closing. Yeah, that's the thing. Incidentally, I must share it with all of you. Where I got this cartoon from? I got this cartoon. This cartoon I got from China Delhi. China Delhi got this cartoon, and I thought I liked it, right? And I picked it up. I just picked it about 15 minutes before I made the link. I was searching for a nice cartoon as a thing, but and I got this. That's how it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me see. USA returns back to Asia Pacific. I will looking. Look, there are indications. You see, that's the worry. What if Trump does a G2 with China? Then where does it leave us? So we should be clear. I don't think India is playing it smart as the way I look at it. Is there any proposal to convert Andaman Islands into a duty-free tax-free outfit to compete with Singapore and Dubai? Yeah, there's a port being constructed out there in Nicobar, not Andaman. Andaman is to the north. Nicobar is to the south. Okay, in one of the southernmost islands of Nicobar, we're constructing a port there. Yeah, Gunner Shot Clause Combine has probably got YouTube to pay attention. Of course, in the present, there may be a cleanup operation in progress. Let's see. What is stopping government of India to drop one China policy even after knowing China supporting Pak against India? Look, we've already uh, virtually dropped the policy. One China policy is no more valid, really. We've dropped it about 10 years back. And this is one of the problems which China has with us. How can you arrest you can how you can arrest Putin? Does it mean they aren't worried about Russia's reaction? But look, that's a Western construct. through the Interpol, through the UN, they got this done, which is unfair. Okay, uh, that's how things are. Okay, please reissue the clip on 12 verticals if possible. I'll do that. Why do that? I'll do a morning show on this. If you people are interested, I'll talk of the 12 technologies. I'll speak of it. I can speak of it tomorrow also. So let me know, Joe. You can put it in the comment that if you want. If you want, then I'll talk. Yeah, I'm a regular listener of the channel. Informative, helped understand geopolitics. Thanks a lot. There is a constant mention of IFS being understaffed and other issues. Look, we know that. Even now, the ambassadors with whom I interact with feel so. Somehow, the government has to wake up, right? The audio can be a tad better. Well, Neeraj, the point is this. I don't know if others have this problem, but I'm using the best Mac Pro for audio. I can't get a better Mac Pro. I mean, I bought the Mac Pro, invested in this with whatever. In fact, whatever on that day when whatever money I had out of Ganeshot, I invested in a Mac Pro, the best specs with the best camera and the best audio. It can't be better than this. I mean, I'm a amateur at the end of the day. Why is it that we are not able to counter West narrative that China helped Pakistan to down our Rafales? Your thought? It is because we don't have a method of creating narratives. Our method of strategic communication is weak. In fact, I'm writing I'm writing a chapter on a book for the Indian Army, not for Indian Army, for armed forces. On this, or failure at cognitive warfare, or failure in strategic communication. Of course, other things are being written, but I've been tasked to write this. In fact, by day after tomorrow, I have to give it, and maybe after that, a week, 10 days after that, I will talk about it in the morning sessions. We should make Andaman a sin city of Lagos, Las Vegas, and Macau to attract. Let's see, that's a government thing. I'll not. Given the long jang between USA and Bharat, can it drop a spanner in our growth trajectory? It can't. It can't. USA can't, China can't, no one can. Because you can't stop so many people from doing what they want. And if everyone wants, let me talk about it one of these days. I'll ask, there's a very question I'll take. Okay. Can USA and China, put a spoke in our growth? I'll talk of this maybe tomorrow, day after. So your punchline for topic selected is interested, funny, and cartoon makes me more curious. Thanks. Can't wipe my smile. Thanks a lot. You've been so supportive always. Can a stronger BRICS and India's relations with South America give edge to India to bargain with US? Yes, of course. There's no doubt. I can understand the neutrality. My uncle, like you, used to tell me, do not think we are great, but our efforts to grow always will be there, said in 1998. It is today, it is a reality. He's a war veteran of, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with Ganpati with what your uncle has said. We have lived through those days, right? Our neutrality has given us great autonomy. Everyone likes us. There are a lot of things which, are, again, we might say today, I mean, this is where I feel bad many times. You might, a lot of people today say, oh, Nehru was useless, all that. But let me tell you, my mind goes back to the 60s, 61, 62, I don't remember. All I remember was I was a small baby. I was about 5, 6 years old. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru came to India. I mean, not to India, to Chennai, to inaugurate the heavy vehicles factory. Okay, and at that time, and he was to drive through the place near the place where I was staying those days. So all of us in the family went and stood there on his path. I mean, not only us, all public. And I was so small, the rush was there, and I remember one of my uncles putting me on his shoulder to see him. And I grew on that era. After all, he look for all his faults. He made Bakranangal, he put up HVF, he put up HAL, a whole lot of infrastructure he put up. Did others take it forward? You might fault him for what he did against China. I also fault him. But do you judge him only for that? You listen to any Pakistani channel. They say, look, I mean, they give a very balanced view. It's a view which we should understand. He said, look, India had a prime minister like Jawaharlal Nehru, who made IITs, who made IIMs. He says, see what that has done to that country. He gave education. He set up industry where none was there. Okay. We had no choice but to have state industries. The fact that we didn't use those state industries intelligently is a different story. That's the politics of the day. But see what had happened at that point of time. See the benefits we are getting out of it. And the same man started non-alignment, this, that, and all that. You can fault a person for anything, mistakes, but don't fault him for intent. So we need to be balanced when we judge political personalities. 50 years hence, the next generation might curse Mr. Modi for what he did. But today we admire him for what he's doing. Same way I admired Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru at that time for what he was doing, and Mrs. Indira Gandhi. In fact, I've had a personal interaction with her. Maybe someday I'll tell you. So we need to respect ourselves, and we should know our own strengths. Okay, Gara shot is probably shadow banned. Do tell me how do I get out of it? I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Try to open source military technology as much as you can so youngsters can build businesses out of them. Thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, is it easy to boycott Pakistan in ICC or international tournaments? It is, I think so. Yeah, people like me from film and TV industry should be engaged to build narratives for the country. We are trained in storytelling and narrative building. This is what I saw US. I completely agree with you, Ashok. And this is what I've been telling a lot of people. I'm glad you're echoing what I'm saying. Yeah, we have to be thankful to our armed forces for all these years, despite inadequate ammunition support from the government, thanks to BJP. This is a strength. I'll not, again, Ashish, please understand. We were spending twice on our GD, at a time when our country didn't have food to eat, 62 to 65 to later, even up to 71. We were spending 3.2% of our GDP on defense. We are not doing it now. So don't blame others that others didn't do. I mean, without knowing. I remember in 71 when I joined my unit, it was all shiny new equipment. We had no shortages. There were no shortages in the army. I started seeing shortages after 10, 12 years of service. In my formative years, there are no shortages at all. Things have changed. Of course, good thing is there are no shortages now for many things, but for many things there are shortages today. Yeah, people who hate Nehru hate him for one reason, his secularism. All other reasons are just an excuse. Yeah, and I of course think secularism is most appropriate for India. So I agree with you, because in India, in armed forces, we are completely secular. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining in and, reaffirming my faith in all of you. And just help me promote this channel because it's important for India. It's not important for me. That's the more important thing. And, join me in the evening, 8:30 with P Gurus. Right. Till then, have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday. Yeah, this is a nice question. Which nice thing. Unlike China, India has a huge internal market. Even if, YS puts 500% duty, US, India can and will grow, no doubts. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. Thank you and Jai Hind.